Our speculations about the IWM showing us some strength came true, and this caused a surge to some small and micro-cap assets. The real concern regarding this is landing within the blue chips and broader indices. Let's take a look at a few assets to gauge a potential continuation. Welcome back to the channel on this happy Monday. This is ARCa, and let's dive into episode 2 of Microcap Mondays. Let's kill 'em, team. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and dive into ticker symbol IWM, right? And this is going to be the Russell 2000 ETF. And this is going to gauge the potential strength for some microcaps and some small caps, right? So let's go ahead and see the daily time frame here. We have 3 consecutive days of continuation to the upside, right? So this was actually Tuesday here, and this was Wednesday. And right after Wednesday, right, we dropped all the way to 196.45. Yeah, from the opening of about 198 and continued upward and onward from there. Now, small retracement here from the top side of today's price action. We ended up reaching the 201 Russell, right, pulling back to 201.22. The top side being exactly 201.63. Now, in order for us to gauge a continuation on this, let's pull up a couple of things first of all. All right, so we are now crossing above the SMA 10. We're definitely crossing above the EMA 9 and 7, looking pretty good and strong on the day. We're definitely in the center portion of the linear regression channel, right? So this could introduce a little bit of a pullback here, I imagine, to the daily gap right back here, right? Not to complete the gap, but to support from the top side of it, right at around $200 with 82 cents before a continuation to the upside here for the following days. Now, it is a conditional, right? We must maintain a positive sentiment within the micro caps and small caps, right? And given the some potential weaknesses to the broader markets, there could be continuation here in the small caps, right? Temporarily, at least. Okay, so 5-minute time frame. Let's go ahead and touch on this here, right? So the 5-minute time frame has clearly been using the SMA 200 and EMA 200, right? This is your EMA 200 orange. This is your SMA 200 purple, right? We've clearly been using those two as areas of support before continuing to the upside, right? Now, the important thing here is that we've reclaimed the inside or the outside of or the upside, actually better said, of the SMA 50 teal line, right? So there could be a continuation to this, right, to around $200.98, which is confluent to what we were talking about on the daily time frame. Get a quick little pullback here, maybe down to the area of the SMA 50 or slightly below, and continue onwards and upwards, right? So there is a clear line in the sand here, right, and that would be the break of this resistance level at about 201.60, just about 64, right? So we can go ahead and leave that right there. And wow, that was a very annoying UPS truck. Sorry about that, team. It's a little warm in the studio and I have the windows open. But yeah, what can we do, right? So anyway, yeah, breaking this resistance here on the IWM would actually take price action to another range, right? That range would actually be another point up to about 202.04 to the range of about 202.19 regarding these primary pivots right over here, right? So we can go ahead and mark those off for your notes here. And this would be regarding the continuation of this trend. Okay, so now looking at the immediate short-term time frame, our thesis regarding the momentum is correct, right? So we're in the gravitational zone here, getting ready for a pullback, and this is also suggesting a potential failure and a retouch of the SMA 50, right? So let's go ahead and see what that probability could be. So we're going to go ahead and land our zone right about the $200.97 to the lower end of this portion here, that pivot there at about $200 with 80 cents. If this gets failed, of course, then we have some lower targets to speak about, right? And that would be potentially down to $200 with 40 cents into 36 cents. So that is also a potential right now, okay? Silver cross is happening here on the 5-minute time frame where the EMA 21 is crossing above the EMA 55. That's already looking pretty good. All right, team. So now one more thing here regarding the IWM is actually on the hourly chart. Let's go ahead and pull that chart up. Right. Okay. So yeah, we still have some room to go to the upside, right? So this would be, let's just say, Tuesdays at 6:30 a.m. just about, yeah. So around 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, we could be reaching the resistance that we're talking about, right? 202.05 to about 202.20, right? Or 202.20. Now this is because we're still within the upper portion of the linear regression band in the hourly time frame, right? So we'll get a quick little pullback here, perfectly set to the SMA 10 and the EMA 9 here in the hourly time frame. Get that bounce from this range here and continue upward towards that direction, right? And we'll potentially get a resistance up here, and then we'll see about consolidating or finding a new leg up. Right, so as soon as we can make this upside here, that could be the range here to now establish this. I'm going to show you just like this, right? To establish this as a new potential chop zone, right? So we'll see if we can gather ourselves together there. So then we could find support here, establish it, and then break out and continue on to the upside. Again, it has a lot to do with the macro sentiment. We do have a few things coming up. Macro data releases, PCE, I think was coming out, right? We have a few Fed speakers as well. We have initial jobless claims coming up this week. A bunch of things are coming out this week, so we have to watch out with price action. Okay, team, next, let's go ahead and take a look at FNGR and see what the good deal is, right? So FNGR has been facing a pretty exponential upside, right? 205 bottom, reaching just Friday a 314 top. Now today was gapped up, right? It gapped up to around $3 from the close of what was it, a 298 close here. But we have still faced a downside here, and that's honestly it's probably needed. The reason why is because we are reaching the SMA 50 on a daily time frame here, and that usually gets us to retrace, right, and validate a prior moving average. So in this case here, let's go ahead and just take a look at that. We're going to retrace here to the EMA 30 down to about $2.70. So if there is a space to consider, it would be this zone here. So let's go ahead and kind of jot that down, right? So from the top side of this daily wick here, which would be about 277 down to this wick right up here, right? That could be our range for support before continuing onwards and upwards. So that would be 277 to 270 before continuation. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at, let's see, hold on. Yeah, I think we're going to, none of these things are really needed anymore, right? These plays already kind of did their thing. So from here, you know what? I think we could map out the hourly time frame linear regression bands, right? Just to see where we are in relation to the positioning of the bands overall. Just like we did on the IWM, that's just something that we can do here, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Pull up the LRC and then pull up the hourly time frame just like this. Okay, great. All right, so yeah, the thesis here for a pullback is definitely in the cards, considering the fact that we closed the hourly time frame linear regression beneath the support zone, right? So this area here would have us drop into the area perfectly set where the SMA 50 is on the hourly time frame to 270. We also have, it looks like the EMA 20 here. Let me just make sure of that. So it's actually, the EMA 50 right up here. Set perfectly to the 50% of the zone that we are speaking of, right? So our discretion is actually playing out not bad. All right, so yeah, we could face a little bit of a continuation to the downside here, potentially reaccumulate, and then continue. Now, I will say this. If price action does fail the SMA 50 down here, then there could be continuation, right? There could be continuation down to this level here, about 261 to about the EMA 200 at about 256, okay? So that's also something that we have to presently be aware of, just in case, right? So this is all conditional here, team. All right, but if we are to look at this as a type of support bottom by time. I'm not the biggest fan of those types of things, but we could be reaching this in the early pre-market and potentially bounce back and open just a little gap down or close to the close of the post market, right, which was right around the 278 area. So, conditionally speaking, yeah, team. You know what? We're on the 5 minute time frame. We're below the SMA 50. We're making a death cross over here. SMA 50 below the SMA 200. We're below the EMA 200 and below all the other smaller major moving averages, including the EMA 7, 9, and EMA 20. Not to mention the SMA 100. Right, so yeah, there's a clear downtrend here, and there could be some supports to be found right in this area. Please remember to jot those down. Now, do remember, team, that I am trading with the ARCa Bulls trading team in private in Discord. So I'm going to go ahead and include the link in the description below. So make sure to click on that and join up as soon as you can. Now, that is it for ticker symbol FNGR. Let's go ahead and take a look at GTII, right, as there is some curious price action happening here, and I wouldn't say that I'm the biggest fan over what's happening. So, yes, it has experienced a pretty nice upside to 35 cents as per expected, but I will say that it definitely has algorithms written all over it, right? So please notice these really substantial or very obvious areas of chop, right? So just like this, right? Straight lines all the way across. That's those are your barcodes, right? So this thing is completely barcoding here, and it's just that's a sign of contraction, right? It's a sign of contraction, meaning that there's no real attention to the asset, so it's supporting perfectly and resisting perfectly within within the bounds of the algorithm, right? So even in this. Even in this area right over here, right, there's still more algorithmic resistance and support here. So yeah, this is it's completely barcoding here, but that doesn't mean it's not moving, right? Because any little movement here can actually make this thing run or fall. Now, another reason that we can see contraction is the simple fact that all of the moving averages here have pretty much converged into this really tight zone. So if I'm not mistaken here, the 5 minute time frame should be in blue with volatility, right? Oh, it's actually coming out of blue now, and it's contracting again. Okay, now let's take a look at the reversion variant, and yeah, this is also displaying to us that chop area that things are stuck in, right? So this is an algorithm that gives us the top side of the first standard deviation, second standard deviation multiplier to the upside and both to the downside, and displays where the mean is. Right, so usually price action tends to make complete moves, wall-to-wall moves from the second standard deviation, right, to the bottom side of the second standard deviation, and then back to the mean, right? So that's usually what price action tends to do. This algorithm can be yours. Just go ahead and click on that link in the description below. Join the ARCa Bulls trading team, and I will have this algorithm and others for you to take. Within the ARCa library. Okay, team. So in this case, since price action has resisted from the mean and bounced down here to the 2800, there is a chance that we can come back down to the first standard deviation multiplier at about 2761. And if it's going to extend further, then yeah, we still have the 2657 to take a look at, aka the bottom of the barcode, which could be either to this zone here at 2721 or 2680 to the bottom side of this candle here. Okay, now let's take a look at the moving averages here on the 5 minute time frame and see how that's behaving, right? So yeah, we already saw the moving averages. We're currently sitting below every single one of the moving averages here, so definitely resistance here. Very likely for it to come down for a little bit and then reaccumulate. Now let's take a look at the daily time frame. Okay, so the daily time frame, I'm not the biggest fan over what I'm observing here, team. Definitely long wicks to the upside, right? Long wicks to the upside usually mean weakness. Bulls are a little exhausted here. We are also experiencing declining bull volume as well, right? So that's a little dangerous here for the bulls. But one thing I will say is that there is a little bit of hopium here, psychologically speaking, right? We definitely have an inverse potential head and shoulders forming here, and that could present a bull case. Now, if it does present a bull case, this is a big if, right? If it does present a bull case, then this could be our established neckline upon the upside continuation, right? And we could draw in a price objective, right? So you take that trend line from the neckline, which being this here, right? And you take it all the way down to the lowest part being the inverse head. So from here, we apply the trend line to the center of the right hand shoulder, and that would be implying that we would reach a price objective of about 70 cents. And let's say, yeah, just about 70. Come on, let's add it up. There we go, 71.04. Right. So please remember, team, do not take this entirely too seriously, right? Because this asset is it doesn't trade normal or it doesn't trade tradition like in a traditional sense, right? So these, although sentiment is there, there could be algorithmic traps and all kinds of stuff all over the way. Okay, team. So please be careful with this. But it's what's being insinuated here is that sure there could be a potential low found here soon. It could be right around the 25.58 to about 23.95, right? So let's go ahead and put that down. 25.58 to about 23. Let's see. Let's just call it 23.99, right? That could be an area for it to bounce and continue on to the upside. Okay, now please remember those targets here. We do have resistances coming up on the upside too, particular to 31.77. This is your resistance range. Let's jot it down. 32.04 to 30.04, right? This is a resistance range as well. We have to combat that, right? So we're going to come down here. We could probably bounce from this area, reach into this zone here, right? Start getting our validations, right? Little chop action here, and then continue onwards. Get that top side of 35.46, resist from 35.46, convert this into the support that we need, and continue onwards and upwards. Right. So, and then, of course, right, we still have the SMA 100 to consider here. It is presently located at 44.95. I imagine it's located at about 49.42 by the time we start making that upside, or even into the zone of about 45.87. Okay, so that is it for GTII. Keep a close eye on this, right? Make sure not to over leverage. Make sure not to bet your children's life savings and yours, right? So make sure to bet whatever you are willing to lose. It's a very dangerous asset. Let's go ahead and take a look at ticker symbol PRST here, right? So PRST, I noticed that Avid Trader pointed it out. He's actually talked about this for a few times right now. So big kudos to Avid on this, and a huge shout out to him. And let's just take a look at this, right? Because today alone, we have about a 25.96% increase, right? Opening the day at about 26.28, ending at 32.98. Massive, massive, massive price action on this. Now, 32.98 retraced to about a 32.30, printing a shooting star here in the 12-hour time frame, right? So this shooting star is a bit of an ominous candle, and it does show some potential retracement in the coming day, right? So literally in the coming day. Maybe tomorrow we could face a pullback here, right? So let's with that said, let's take a look at the average true range on a daily time frame, and we can see that this asset moves about 5 cents on average. So if we were to open up where the 12-hour time frame closed at 32.30, so 32.30 pullback. Let's see. Yeah, so I would actually say it's going to pull back right into this zone here. Yeah. Look. Let me draw the line here so you can see exactly how that looks and how many contact points there are. Right? Here's a contact. Here's another one. Right? So you can see just how relevant this area is here. Now, if you do the math, the 32.30 minus, minus whatever here to 28, that's about 4 cents and some change. And now going to the daily time frame, you can actually see that the average true range right up in here, take a look at it, right? 476. So that could be a full ATR move potentially at the open tomorrow. right? So we could see a continuation to the downside here, reaccumulate at that SMA 50, right at around 2806, or distribute, sorry, to that 2806, and then reaccumulate and see about continuation here, right? So I want you to be very careful here, right? Do not FOMO into this. There could be a little bit of a loading zone here before a continuation onto the upside. Your swing could be real, right? Your swing could be real. There could be, say for example, if you loaded right around that 28-cent zone, there could be resistance found between 32.03 and about 32.95, followed by the SMA 100 at approximately 35.25. So that could mark off a pretty nice swing. In these market conditions, I probably wouldn't hold things overnight, but you'll do what you will. So, speaking about the 5-minute time frame within this asset, right? We're already breaking down beneath the SMA 50 here, so there absolutely is a reason here for this to come back down. Now, usually, when you fail the SMA 50 on a 5-minute time frame, there is a drawback, right? A drawdown here to reach the EMA 200. Now, the EMA 200 is located at 28.47, conveniently located right at the area that I spoke of 28 cents. Right, so that's also very curious. So let me actually go back and pull up the reversion variant on a 12-hour time frame and see if we are set to a mean reversion here. And in fact, we are. Right, so we've actually overextended here from the second standard deviation, and we are set to come back down to the first standard deviation multiplier located right at about 2818. In our discretion, 2818 is actually shown by the reversion variant, right, at the purple label here. So if we were to face this without the reversion variant, guess what? That's the SMA 50, 28 cents, right, where we're talking about retracement, right, at that multiple contact point. So yeah, we have the mathematics and discretion kind of lining up pretty nicely here. I wouldn't even doubt if we were to put here a Fibonacci ratio, there could be a pretty desirable area to observe, right? Sorry, let me actually just do it from let's just say from the last candle, red candle before that top side, right? So let's do it like this here. Okay, so it was very close right here, the 35 cents to the 36 cent there. And what do you know, right? We have the two spots, 618 at 28.11, and we're talking about a 28 cent retracement here, perfectly set to the two spots, 618. Okay, yeah, so there's definitely it's confluent here to geometrics as well. So yeah, giving it even more reason for it to retrace back down to this 28 cent level. That's rhyming a lot, team. I do think that there could be a support zone to be found there before a reaccumulation. All right, team. So I think this is about it. You have the targets, you have everything set, and now it's all about just follow through, right? And let's see if it does have follow through. Please remember to keep an eye on that IWM ticker as the microcaps move, right? And the small caps move, because this is going to play an integral role. All right, team. But I do appreciate everybody for coming on by. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, and more importantly, make sure to click on the link in the description below to join the ARCa Bulls trading team so that you can observe and you can be part of trading with some very talented traders there with me. All right, team, but I appreciate it, all of you for coming on by. If you have any questions or concerns, you know where to reach me. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, 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 ever, ever, never. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well a very, very good rest of your night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios. Yeah.